Hey everyone, Jason here. Welcome back. Previously I made a tutorial teaching how to shuffle playing cards like normal, like you might expect friends to do at a card game. But today we're learning how to shuffle cards like a pro. This is not only the faro shuffle, nay, it is the perfect faro shuffle, just like that. And aside from making a really satisfying sound, it also opens the doors to a lot of cool cardistry flourishes and magic tricks. And don't worry, this is a tutorial for beginners. If you watch this video all the way to the end and practice sufficiently, you're going to learn it. Alright, now I'll show you the moves step by step, then we'll see some cool slow motion footage. Third, I'll give you some troubleshooting techniques, and at the very end I'll share with you a really cool magic secret using this faro shuffle. First, start with the cards in dealer's grip and your non-dominant hand. Thumb, finger, other fingers. Next, your other hand approaches and lifts it up to the fingertips like so. Then, you split the cards perfectly in half, 26 by 26, and simply perfectly interleave them like this without missing any cards. And that's the faro shuffle. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure to smash like and... oh, I'm just kidding. That's my idea of a joke. But let's really break this down. Now the first challenge you're going to face is splitting the deck in half exactly evenly, 26 by 26. It sounds a little impossible, but with practice you will get it very reliable. So here I want to show you the exact finger position that I end up in. From here to up here, I quickly get into a position like this. So if we just look at the right hand, I've got the pinky on the bottom, two fingers. This one is here for applying pressure, and the thumb is over here so I don't drop the cards all over the mat. The left hand, if we examine it in isolation, is something like this, with the pinky just sticking out. It's not necessary.
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
It's mostly these four fingers. And importantly, the pointer finger is on top because you're gonna push against it to help square up the cards. So once I'm here, I'm gonna basically open it up like a book, and this is gonna be the spine back here. The left thumb is gonna peel it open. Everything's holding it into place while this one thumb is kind of wedging it open. I do this so that I can quickly see if I've got half. Like right there, I'm pretty sure that is half. And we can check by trying to do the faro. As you see, there's one card on top and one card on bottom, and I didn't miss one, so I know that that was in fact perfect. Now what happens when you're trying to open this up and you don't get it exactly right? Like if I got off. Like I can see, you gotta eyeball it. Like you can see that this one's skinnier than this one. So here's what I do. I'm gonna use this right thumb down here in the bottom and just peel over a card. So it's like this. I do up, up. Let's break it down. It's the right thumb grabs, the left thumb lets go, the left thumb purchases, the right thumb lets go, and combines it with the right stack. That's another reason I'm pushing them together here at the top, is so I can eyeball them pretty well. And I think that's probably even. Let's give it a shot. Yeah, success. Now I'm gonna teach you this part, but one thing I would like to add is don't worry too much if you can't divide the deck exactly in half, even though that is the end goal. In the beginning, you're not going to get it perfectly, and that's okay. You can move on to doing the next step. The main faro action that we are focusing on learning, the act of interleaving the cards like so. And I should stop an ad right now so you don't get frustrated. You will need good quality playing cards to make this work. I will put a link in the description below to cards that will definitely work. I'm just saying, you're probably not going to get this to work with Uno playing cards, although I probably could. You know, just because of all that time spent alone, practicing with the cards, far away from other people, protecting my virginity. Okay, about the interleaving action. I do want you to see the position of all my fingers. Most importantly are this one on the left and the pinky on the bottom, because they are going to be pushing together opposing forces like that. You don't want the cards jaggedy like this. I'm exaggerating, but you don't want them even a little bit like that. You want them nice and flat. Then you're gonna come together, and without this finger, you see there's like air gaps. You can see that? Yes, you can. With the finger, I can close. See, there's a little bit of tension. I can kind of bend it like that, and that closes off all the air gaps between the cards. Next, we go like this. And we're not going to push them in straight like this. It's super important, in my opinion, to go like this way. It just makes it work so much easier. And another thing I do want to add is you're not jamming the cards in with a lot of force this way. It's just a little bit of pressure. Most force that I'm using is between here and here, like squeezing to make sure the cards don't move once I've got them square. And on the right hand, between here and there. After I've squared them up, I'm kind of like really trying to lock them into place. So like this is like the spine of the book. It's looser over here, but it's not going to move on the opposite end. And then another thing you'll see on many of the tutorials, they'll talk a lot about going like that, like moving across. I think that helps a bit, but isn't the most critical factor. So you can do that a bit, but mostly I'm thinking about doing kind of an angle like that, and I'm choosing which card goes first. So if you think about it, this was the deck originally, this was the top, and when I cut this, this is still the top. I want this card to go first. So you actually need to look close enough to see that one card is going on top of the other, just like that. And if you did it correctly, then the bottom card of your right hand will be not the bottom. You see what I mean? They call me the master of words. Kind of looks cool, like objects are just like phasing through each other, doesn't it? This is what it would look like if you could just put your arm right through the wall, especially if your arm was made out of playing cards. But I digress. Oh, one more thing to be aware of when doing this is that you do want this up a little bit in the back because you want it starting right on this corner. So some people will say put their pinky in there. I don't bother to go that far, but if I do the faro and rotate it so you can see, I'm gonna look over here out of the camera, and that's how I'm doing it. So I started like that, but once you're interleaved, you can just push in, you know what I mean? And I think you do. Make sure you watch through to the troubleshooting section, but for now we're gonna progress with the next part, which is what do you do after you have the cards interleaved? You could just push them together like this if you wanted to, all the way until they are together, but I think it's a lot more fun to do this. I push them in right about here, then my left finger moves down here to hold this card in place, thumb moves down, middle finger moves over, and now I've got it completely held in this position, and my hand was down here before. I can release this hand. I'm gonna make a clamp, and I simply bend it in, middle finger still there, bend more into a C, then release and get that nice sound. I think that's a really fun thing to do. I think it looks impressive, but once you have the cards interleaved, you have the option then to do a lot of different things. For example, once you're in this position, and I specifically put more cards in the right hand so I can do the giant fan now, just like this. That's a pretty cool move, pretty fun. All right, next up we have cool slow motion footage for enhanced learning, followed by troubleshooting tips, which I think will really help you get past any issues you're currently having. And lastly, a super cool magic secret I'm gonna teach you how to do using the faro shuffle. I thought about it and decided to put all of these in a separate video, which is linked in the pinned comment below. But before you check that out, please consider clicking like and leaving a comment on this video. I know, I hate to ask, but no exaggeration, these two things really help a whole lot. So, that being said, keep it fun, keep it magical, and I'll see you in the next part 2 video coming up now.